You see, when you get angry, you get upset, and you have that little bile coming up, in your mouth, you feel like that, you do this. A little bit of bile. Now imagine when you go to this place, you are going to be dunked in acid and bile also. Because the same thing which your body experienced 1x times, there it is 100x. That is why Sri Krishna says, don't get angry. Anger is the doorway to hell. Your job is to control your anger, become wise. We are doing Bhagavad Gita chapter 5 verse 21. He whose mind remains unattached to sense objects derives through meditation the sattvic joy which dwells in the mind. Then the yogi, having completely identified himself through meditation with Brahma, enjoys eternal bliss. If you have seen a tortoise, have you seen a tortoise? Tortoise, whatever. So, when it sees danger, what does it do? It withdraws its limbs and its head inside the shell. The shell is very powerful, please understand this. It is literally like an exoskeleton. So it withdraws its body, its legs, its tail, everything it withdraws. Likewise a snail. You have seen a snail? A snail withdraws his body inside that shell of his. Now, what does it do inside? Likewise, a human being who is on the path of spiritual has to withdraw everything inwards. All the senses, the mind, the intellect, everything is sucked inwards. When the person does this, he is isolated from the world around him. Even if things are happening, remember the tortoise is there in front of him, there may be children who are trying to, beat him or do something, or even the snail is there, somebody is trying to eat him or something like that, but they cannot enter the shell, right? Likewise, when you create this identity of yourself where you withdraw everything, this withdrawal will only give you one important thing that is going to happen. When you are locked inside a dark place, you are filled with fear. But when you are locked inside your own body, then you are going to be one with the self. So what happens is you go in a meditative state. Think of the tortoise, think of the bear. The bear, polar bear and all, what does it do? It covers itself up, goes inside that snow, and stays there for 6 months. So what does it do inside? Inside, it shuts down all the senses. There is no hearing, seeing, touching, feeling, nothing. It is shut down the senses. The mind which was reacting to whatever things that are happening outside is also shut down. So it goes inwards. So when it goes inwards, it becomes meditative. Because nothing is there appearing for that person. When he becomes meditative, and that is a sattvic joy. He is not doing it because he is afraid or anything like that. He is not hiding from someone. He is just going inwards, and that is a sattvic joy. Sattvic joy is very good. You can enjoy it. So sattvic joy will take him inwards, and this yogi, having completely identified with himself through meditation with Brahma, means he identifies with the God within. He doesn't say I am the body. He doesn't say I am the senses. He doesn't even say I am the intellect. He doesn't say any of those things. He is now saying very clearly, I am different than the body. I am one with the one inside this. Got it? I am different. Now I want you to think very carefully. You see, the whole idea Have you seen, silkworm or any of these butterflies, how they come? Hmm? Or any of the worms that you have seen, noticed it? They have the 4 stages of their life. In that, there is a stage called larva, pupa, all those things. So they cocoon themselves inside. Huh? And after that, then they break that thing and come out into a beautiful butterfly. Isn't it? Isn't that how they do? I am sure you have seen it or heard it in school. So, like that, this individual who is a yogi has gone inside his shell, inwards, doesn't identify with the shell, the covering. The covering is different than him. Remember this. The silkworm is different than the cocoon. You see that there's a cocoon there. The cocoon is not the silkworm. It is the body. It's the house. So the yogi identifies this body as his house. He says, I live in this house. But I am not the house. I am not the house. I am the one who is the effulgent one inside. And that is God. So then he says, I am Brahma. I am Brahma. And then he enjoys the bliss. The bliss, the eternal bliss, which is called Satchidananda. So by meditative practices, he goes inwards, identifies himself not as a body or the shell. He identifies himself as the effulgent one, which is the one inside of everybody. It is the Jivatma. And then he says, I am that Atma myself. And this Atma is nothing but the Paramatma. This is how he does. So we move to the next verse. We are doing chapter 5, Bhagavad Gita, verse 22. The pleasures which are born of sense contacts are verily a source of suffering only, though appearing as enjoyable to a worldly minded people. They have a beginning and an end. They come and go. Arjuna, it is for this reason that a wise man does not indulge in them. See, any sense pleasure of any kind is so flimsy and temporary. It is going to go out of the window very soon. This is a temporary pleasure. Those who have understood this do not fall into the trap of this material world. What are the pleasures? With the eyes, we see the world as a beautiful place. You see, any person, you can ask any person on earth. Somebody says, I love snow. I love this European weather, the Alps. Switzerland is such a wonderful place. And these people think that moving to Switzerland is the best thing on planet Earth. So they go over there. The problem starts less than a month's time. Similarly, I have seen Indians migrating to different countries because they appear very beautiful. Singapore is such a clean place, such a beautiful location. Everybody is rich over there. 50% of the population is millionaires, I also want to be a millionaire. It's a wonderful place to live. The United States of America is a capitalist country. They are so rich, Very, very rich people. Everybody goes over there and mints money. Yes. This is how our mind and everything, all the senses start reacting. Or sometimes we have requirements in our world. Wow, what a beautiful car, in India we have Maruti and all those, Toyota and all that. But abroad they will see some nice fancy car. Wow, look at this guy. He's driving around like that. And I still remember in olden times there was a Ford Mustang was there. Everybody used to love that car. The moment it came out, wow, I want to own it, I want to own it. Like that, there were lots of cars. I still remember when I was a kid, hmm, there was a fascination for a car called Impala. Impala was such a beautiful car. All right. So it's like that. Today it is about SUVs and this and that and God knows how many. I want a Range Rover, Range Rover. I want a Jaguar. Wow. I want a BMW. Yes. Where are you going to drive it? On Mumbai roads, Bangalore roads, Chennai roads, where traffic jams are for 2 hours? Huh? You're going to be sitting in your Range Rover or whatever. Okay, I hope the traffic moves. What is the point in buying such fancy cars? So the same thing which you like so much becomes very painful very soon. Similarly, a young boy and a girl, they fall in love with each other. They are lovers. Oh, I want to get married to you. Let us get married. And all that drama which they do, getting a ring, bowing down on one foot and stuff like that. I've seen in all the movies. Will you marry me? They will put some banner somewhere, some kinds of jokes. And okay, so get married. He says, the pleasures which are born of sense contacts are verily a source of suffering only. So the person wants to get married. In less than 1 day, 2 days time, you come to know that this marriage is the worst thing that they have ever thought of in their life. The same person that they want to marry, now they want to garrote that person. Like that. Why? Because their nature doesn't match with them. Expectations. The expectations are so high. You may think it is not there in spiritual. In spiritual, the expectations are higher than the material world. You see, in spiritual, when a disciple comes to me, they think that Guruji is going to open the world for me. He is going to give me everything, spoon feed me everything. And a little reprimand from the Guruji is very difficult to maneuver. You know why? I don't like it. I hate it. This is not the way I want it. Really. So your desires are the cause of misery. Some people have this habit, like there was a person in the past. Now, I have not asked him for money. Nobody. I will not ask anybody for money. I don't say, give me so much. Well, this person gave something. 6 months later, I want everything back. Oh, you have given with an intention that you want it back, or you want at least 10x to that? People think like this. First and foremost, they give and then they think that they want something in return. Please understand, there is no return in this world. At least not in the material domain. The world which we are talking about is different. So expectation is the root cause of misery. It's a desire of everybody. So pleasure which is born in the initial stages, like some people over here are going through what is called as a honeymoon period when they enter the world of spiritual. It is so beautiful to see. Wow, Guruji, you're so nice, you're so kind. Okay, you are doing everything so beautifully. I love your satsangs. You are the apple of my eye. My goodness. And then the real trouble starts when spiritual is not so easy. Then look at the face the person will make. As if they have taken castor oil. As if they have the big stone has come on their head. Then the same Guruji becomes a painful character. Why? Because they don't want to go through this process of what is called as purification. You see, when a diamond is found, the purification, in the first stages, there only washing happens. They take water and then they just wash it nicely. And then what they do is, they have to identify which is the stone. Because it's a rock, okay? So they first have to chisel it. So the chiseling, tick, 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 like that, So then it becomes a shape. A little shape is given. After the shape is given, they have to put that eyeglass. I don't know how many of you know how these techniques are used. They put the eyeglass. They identify the way in which the rays will reflect. The ray of light is going to reflect. Those who know the theory of light, reflection, refraction and all those things, I'm sure you must have studied in school. So when it is done, the person who is seeing it with his eye, that what he does is he catches it in one pincer like this, three things, holds it like this. So when he holds it in that claw, then he has to rest his arm on the side of a grinding table. The grinding table literally chisels the whole thing and it becomes so hot. Have you ever seen that a diamond can get very, very hot if you keep on rubbing it? So the rub is so powerful, and then the grinding goes on and on and on and on and on. Likewise, the gold, when it is found, it is just washed in the beginning. Later on, the gold has to be melted. At what temperature does it melt? And then purification has to be done. Higher and higher temperatures. They use that, thing to blow through that so that the temperatures reach higher and higher. The higher the temperature, the gold becomes more purer. So the guru's job is equally like that. In the initial stage, he holds the disciple in like a baby. And later on, the grinding starts. And when the grinding starts, it becomes very difficult. But then the purification process will take you to the ultimate destination, which is called realization or the path of enlightenment. You can reach there. The material world is not like that. Let us take marriage, for example. A couple gets married. Now they are in love. You see their Facebook photographs or Instagram posts. You can see them, so many. Oh, I love you. These hearts and that hearts and flowers and people do so many nonsensical stuff. Okay, they will give them expensive rings. And they will take them in a flight. They will do skydiving. They will do everything possible in the world. Together, we are together. 6 months later, the problem starts. Or sometimes 3 months later, or maybe even 1 month later. You see, I want her to do something, but she doesn't do. Then I got to do it. I want to have a cup of tea early in the morning. I'm so used to it, She doesn't even get up. She will say, see, before marriage, he would offer me flowers. Now no flowers are coming. It's only about work. It's only about, and I want him to take me for some, I want to go out somewhere. He says, I don't have the time. We have to pay the rents. Who's going to take care of the rents? And every month you want to go to your mother's place and you want to do this. How is it going to work? You see, this thing keeps on cascading and cascading and cascading. And a few years later, you have got so apathetic towards that person, I don't even care. They are used to that kind of a nature, I don't care. I didn't tell you what happens in the middle. Children, they come along. And then life becomes bigger hell. So please understand, these pleasures which you think are there in the material world are not even there for a single moment in time. A simple pleasure like eating a chocolate. You put it in your mouth. 5 minutes later, chocolate is gone. It becomes poop very soon. Well, is that what you are looking for? You go to a fancy restaurant, pay a lot of money to eat over there. A Michelin star restaurant. Well, the Michelin star restaurant charges you thousands. You pay the bill and you see the beautiful plate decorated and then you eat something over there. Once it enters your mouth, it is finished. The pleasure is over. Likewise, for hearing songs, you know, you hear songs, beautiful songs. And then what happens? Song is finished. You see, nothing compares to you. Beautiful song. You know this song, isn't it? Nothing compares to you, blah, 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 blah. Now, that lady had a son, Sinead O'Connor. That fellow died, 16 or 18 years old. In few weeks' time, this lady also died. She's only 52 years old. Out of heartbreak? Well, you can't say anything. So, what happens, these pleasures which are there, they are not permanent. They go on only for a very, very tiny portion of time. So, the pleasures which are born of sense contacts are verily a source of suffering. Remember this and don't run after pleasures. They have a beginning and an end. They come and go. Pleasures keep on coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. Arjuna, it is for that reason. A wise man does not indulge in them. If you are a wise person, you will never get into it. Alright? Why do you want to get into that problem? You see, the whole thing is so bad that people want to get into the same problem over and over and over again. They are not satisfied with one time getting into a problem. They say the first child is easy, supposedly. Second child is easier. Really? To raise one child is difficult. 2 children, more difficult. But no, for the sake of the world, they say, I got nice children, very good. They go to school, they do this, they do that. All this is fake. Because that pleasure which you got from that child or that marriage or whatever that you are doing is so temporary. Sri Krishna is telling him, Arjuna, well, what are you thinking? Don't get into this pleasure zone. Get out of it. So if you are a wise person, you will not get into it. So stay away from all these problems. Don't get into it. See, let us say if you have a dog. You get a dog and the dog lives with you for 5-10 years. Then he dies. Then out of that heartbreak that you have, oh my God, my dog died, Okay, you want to get another one. You think that fellow is not going to die? He's also going to die. You get a third one, that is also going to die. You have children, they are going to grow up and they are going to kick your ass. I mean, sorry, I should not be using such words, but of course, they are not even bothered about you. They don't even want to take your phone calls. Suppose they have grown up and gone somewhere, they have their own world. You may think, oh, my son and my daughter, they should look after me. Nothing like that. My husband should look after me. My wife should look after me. Nobody is going to care about you. If one person dies, the other person lives on. And this person lives in that memory. Oh my God, I had a wonderful wife. She died. It's all fake. This is called attachment. Attachments are going to make this person born again and again and again and again and again. Right? So let us move to the next verse now. We are doing chapter 5, verse 23. He alone who is able to withstand in this very life before casting off the body, the urge of lust and anger is a yogi, and he alone is a happy man. See, lust and anger, 2 of the worst possible, negative traits in a man. People think some other are there. No. Lust. Human beings are very lusty creatures. Even at a child, they are like that. You may not think like that. You may say, no, my child is very good. Sorry, who told you that? You don't know what goes on in their brains, their minds rather. And lust is such a dangerous thing. So every man and every woman and every other kind of creature that is there is lusty to the core. They are all interested in only one thing. Second thing is anger. These are two dangerous sins which a person needs to get over. When you get angry, straight ticket to hell. Straight ticket to hell. Lust is not straight ticket to hell. Because lust serves a purpose. You see, lust is serving a purpose. Anger doesn't serve any purpose. Have you heard about this? Anger doesn't serve any purpose. You are straight away, you have got a ticket and a visa and you have the ticket, you just have to sit in the flight and go to hell. But lust is different. Lust is used for generation of the next, for creation of the next generation. In marriage, lust is there. When you are lusty, then only you will go and create your next generation. Children will come out of it. But lust in the material world, with wrong kind of people, wrong kind of stuff that is there, is not going to take you anywhere, straight away again to hell. And this verse is there once again where Sri Krishna says, anger is the doorway to hell. Lust is the doorway to hell, anger is the doorway to hell. This verse is there again and again. People in this world get angry over stupid things. Understand them. See, there are different hells in this world. Okay? This is Raurava is one of the hell. Okay? The worst kind is Kumbhipika. Kumbhipika is the worst hell of all. These people who are angry straight away have this entry to this dirtiest hell of all. The worst hell of all. Now you may say, but Guruji, you say that there are no hells, no? Many a times you have said there are no hells. For the soul there is no hell. When you are a wise person, one who is, the previous verse we did, no, wise person. In the wise person's mind, he is not the body. Because he doesn't possess the body, he doesn't go to hell. The people who are angry because of the body. And when they are angry because of the body, they carry their bodies with them to hell. You may say the physical body. No, the mental body has to go. See, if I pinch you, or if I, drive a nail in your hand, does it hurt? Yes, it hurts. Right? Now I want you to think. The same nail is driven in the feet of a bullock or a horse. Have you seen? Does he get affected by it? No. Because they know that that nail is meant for not rubbing their feet on the ground and having problem. But when it is there, with a normal person, if I punch a nail in your hand, what happens? You feel the pain. Okay? You can put one thing on your hand and then when you go to the hospital, you can cover your hand up and cure it. But the mind is not cured. Mind retains that memory of the nail driven. So the subtle body is a repository of knowledge. Did I not tell you this? Mind and the intellect are the places where memory is hidden. So when a person dies, along with the memory that they have, they go to this place called hell. And all the trouble which they seem to have just by a nail being driven in their hand, the worse than that pain is experienced by the mind of theirs. It is more pain than you can ever imagine, experienced by the mind of theirs because of the anger. You see, when you get angry, you get upset, and you have that little bile coming up, in your mouth, like that, you do this. A little bit of bile. Now imagine, when you go to this place, you are going to be dunked in acid and bile also. Because the same thing which your body experienced 1x times, there it is 100x. That is why Sri Krishna says, don't get angry. Anger is the doorway to hell. Your job is to control your anger. Become wise. Why are you getting attached to your body? The moment you are attached to your mind and your intellect and your body, you are going to have problems. Your senses are going to take you on a whirlwind tour. Stay out of it. You become wise. Don't get angry. Don't get upset. This verse is important. Lust and anger. He's only talking about these two. He's not talking about the rest of it. He says, he alone who is able to withstand in this very life, before casting off the body, the urges of lust and anger. In this body, you got to control this. Cast it off. Throw from your life this lust and anger. Don't have this lustiness or don't have this anger. I will tell you, after enjoying in hell, what happens to these people. Now this may sound very dangerous, but let us try to understand what it is. You see, now you are lusting for some XYZ person. Now this person doesn't know, or maybe he knows. He or she knows. Well, you will have to come for them again and again and again and again and again. There are no choices in your life. So the future life, did I say that you are going to come like a human being? No. When you have lust, you are not going to come back as a human being at all. No way. You are not going to come like a human being. Okay? You are going to come like a creature or thing which is reverse of the human being. Do you like it? Similarly, when you are angry with another person, you see the anger is there with that person because that person might not have done something for you. The anger is there. Okay? Now let us say you are angry with your husband. Why? Because he has not given you what you wanted. You think you have left it. You see, the same person whom you don't like so much, okay, you are going to meet in the reverse order. That person will be angry with you in your next life. You are going to be at the receiving end. Just now that person may be at the receiving end. So you may have anger issues, anger and lust. Sri Krishna says, just throw it out of your life before you die. At least do this much. Okay? Then only you will become a happy person. You can become a yogi. Anger and lust are two things which will stop you from becoming a yogi. That means no, you can't be a wise person. Got it? So we have come to the verse end of 23. we will stop over here.